Okay, let's jump right into some recent comments from Kathy Wakile, looking back at her time on Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Right.
She's touched on, things that happened sort of away from the cameras, how she saw specific moments, and even some, well, pretty unexpected takes on people she was close to back then.
Yeah, it definitely gives us a different perspective on moments viewers might remember, but filtered through her own experience using her recollections.
Okay, so the first big one that really jumps out is that reunion scene, the one with her sister, Rosie. Kathy actually mentioned something pretty key, that a significant amount of what was said, like during that whole exchange, it just wasn't aired.
Ah, okay. And what's insightful there is how she describes the impact of those specific unaired comments. She said they weren't just, background noise. They specifically got her really fired up, made her blood boil. And she even said, like, that wasn't her usual way. So it suggests the real emotional level in the room was maybe driven by things we, the audience, never actually got to see.
And that intensity clearly spilled over. She talked about Rosie, who was off stage,
Right.
hearing these unaired things
Yeah.
and reacting really, really strongly. I think the phrase used was screamed uncontrollably.
Exactly. And Kathy's immediate feeling, she said, was that she had to sort of chill everything down fast.
Like manage the situation.
Yeah, to diffuse this quickly because she genuinely felt like, oh, S was going to go down. It shows that tension she felt in the moment. And she links it directly back to things happening off screen or maybe stuff that got edited out.
Definitely makes you think about how much the final cut shapes the story we see.
For sure.
Another huge event she talked about was the christening.
Ah.
She basically identified this as the moment she realized, okay, this isn't going to be the fun, playful show she maybe thought it would be.
Well, the way it's described is a pretty major fight broke out. Joe Gorga, Joe Giudice, apparently a bunch of other people too, just chaos.
And her reaction, and Rich's too, was pretty dramatic.
Yeah.
They literally ripped their mics off.
Yeah, and she even went further. She recounted telling production right then and there, I didn't sign on for this sate, saying, I told you not to poke the bear, and then she just left the event.
So that detail, it's not just about the fight itself.
Exactly. It's more a window into her setting a boundary, her immediate, visceral reaction to that level of conflict happening right there. Something the audience wouldn't have seen in that exact moment.
And Richie even chimed in while she was talking about this, didn't he? With a hypothetical fight.
Oh, yeah. Between Joe Giudice and Joe Gorga. He made a very harsh prediction, used some pretty offensive language, actually, and just said, it would be a massacre, by the way. It would be a massacre.
And Kathy's reaction to that was immediate too, right?
Telling him to stop it.
Which sort of leads us to maybe the most surprising part of all this.
Which is?
Kathy actually defending Teresa Giudice, even though, as she says, they haven't spoken in years.
Yeah, that definitely contrasts with how things often looked on screen, doesn't it?
Totally. Her descriptions were positive. Called Teresa undeniably and unapologetically who she is. Even said there's nothing devious about her.
Interesting. And she also put forward a kind of theory about when Teresa actually fights.
She did. Said it's usually only when someone goes after Louis Ruelas or, quote, someone she cares about.
Describing it as having that instinct, the instinct to protect.
It's really fascinating, especially when you remember there's also context where Kathy's sort of hinted Melissa Gorga had a hand in them leaving the show.
Right. It paints a much more complex picture than just the straightforward feuds we might have seen played out. It's not black and white. Next update we have about readings, specifically The Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Right, RHOA season 16. This is supposed to be a big reset, a comeback season.
But the numbers aren't quite reflecting that yet, based on these sources. What did episode 12 pull in? That was Phaedra Parks' return episode.
According to Bravo ratings, it got 0.464 million live viewers and a 0.09 in the key 1849 demo.
How does that compare to the week before?
It was a drop. The prior episode had 0.525 million viewers and a 0.12 demo. So viewership went down for Phaedra's return, interestingly.
And there was a comparison to another show, Love Hotel.
Yeah, this was interesting. Love Hotel aired the same night, had lower overall numbers, around 0.324 million live viewers. But it actually gained viewers slightly from the previous week.
While RHOA lost viewers.
Exactly. And Love Hotel's demo rating also ticked up slightly, from 0.04 to 0.05, while RHOA's went down. So the trend was going in opposite directions that night, even if the raw numbers were different.
What about streaming? Is it doing better there?
Well, the source mentioned a post on X from King Lonnie claiming RHOA had fallen to number 10 on Peacock. The post apparently said it was flopping in viewership and streaming.
What are the potential reasons floating around?
The source suggested a couple of things. Could be simple, like the holiday weekend affecting live viewing habits. Or maybe something more complex. It's like a potential fan reaction, maybe even a boycott. Either related to Phaedra Parks coming back, given her controversial exit years ago.
Or maybe related to the whole situation with Kenya Moore this season.
Precisely. The source reminded us Kenya was meant to be full-time, but then she was essentially suspended and edited out of episodes she had filmed after an incident involving Brittany Eadie. Phaedra was brought in late in filming. Some fans might be siding with Kenya or unhappy with Phaedra's return.
And Kenya herself reacted to the low ratings news.
She did. The source says she liked the post about the ratings dip and commented with the double eye emoji. Make of that what you will.
Well, new episodes are still airing Sunday nights.
Next update, we have about a brand new Housewives city across the Atlantic.
Yes, the Real Housewives of London on Hulu. The cast has finally been announced. 6 women.
Filming apparently started back in March, so this reveal confirms who we'll be watching. Let's run through them.
Okay, first is Juliet Angus. She's American, from Chicago, lives in West London now. Some might remember her from Ladies of London.
Right. The source lists us as a wife, mom, influencer, stylist, former fashion publicist, a busy background.
Then Amanda Cronin, former model, now an entrepreneur with her own skincare line, Amanda Caroline Beauty, and an aesthetics clinic.
And she's got connections. The source mentions close ties to Meredith Marks from Salt Lake City and Dorinda Medley from New York. Small world.
Definitely. Next is Karen Loderick-Peace. Born in Jamaica, moved to the UK, married to the former owner of a football club, West Bromwich Albion FC.
And she owns multiple properties, launching a fashion label. Plus, she was on the UK's Real Housewives of Jersey, so another one with prior reality TV experience.
Juliet Mayhew, Australian, former Miss Galaxy Universe, moved to the UK young, lives in Chelsea.
Her background is acting, producing, philanthropy, event planning, and another connection close with Caroline Stanbury.
Okay, Panthea Parker. Born in Iran, moved to England as a child, lives in North London.
Described as known for a high society lifestyle, big social circle, part of the Mayfair scene since the 90s, parties with A-listers. Sounds like she'll bring the glamour.
And finally, Nessie Welshinger. London, born and raised, she was on Bake Off, the professionals in the UK.
Wow, okay. And before baking, she was global head of equity at Schroeder's. Now runs the Chelsea Cake Company. High-profile clients, including making a birthday cake for the Queen.
Queen Elizabeth II's 90th. That's quite the credential.
It absolutely is. So it's a really interesting mix. Some reality vets, some entrepreneurs, high society figures, people with impressive pre-TV careers.
Hayu's description sounds classic Housewives. Lavish dinners, Scottish castle, navigating life, legacy and loyalty, designer drama.
Yep, hitting all the expected notes. Hayu's execs sounded excited to bring it exclusively to their platform. Looks like they're betting on this blend of backgrounds and connections to make it work in London. Expected later this year.
Can't wait to see that one. Okay, next update we have about this family karma situation. It sounds intense.
Yeah, pretty intense. Monica Vaswani made some very public accusations against her ex-fiancé, Rish Karam. This was all on Instagram June 1st.
And she wasn't vague about it, accusing him of lies, of cheating.
Right. And, fans might remember there were cheating rumors about Rish on this show before, which he denied back then. So this isn't entirely out of the blue context-wise.
But this time she brought receipts, or what she presented as receipts. The source mentioned a photo involving condoms and leaked DMs.
Exactly. Leaked DMs, apparently from another woman. The messages were, "We kissed," he said he was single, wanted to see me today. Pretty damning, if accurate.
And Monica's own posts were really direct. Things like, "So done with all the lies," and asking Rish, "Did you think I was that dumb?"
Yeah, clearly she felt pushed to go public. But like you often see, there's another side to the story. Rish responded pretty quickly.
Through his own Instagram, right, which got picked up by accounts like Best of Bravo.
Yes. And his main point was about the timeline. He claimed they had actually not been together for over a month by the time she made those posts.
Okay, so he's saying the relationship was already over.
Right. And he adds more. He claims that before her posts, she actually entered my apartment unannounced and without permission while he was traveling.
Whoa, okay. And went through his things.
That's his claim, that she went through his belongings and took photos out of context to post online.
And his bottom line on the cheating?
A flat denial. "I never cheated on her," he stated. He also sounded, well, pretty hurt about how the breakup was handled. He said he only wanted the best for her. It's unfortunate it didn't work out. But then he claims she asked him not to talk publicly about the split. And then, in his words, His kindness was taken advantage of when she took control of the narrative. He called it manipulative and disgusting.
He even shared some kind of proof for his timeline, didn't he? Security footage.
Yeah, a screenshot. It apparently shows Monica's parents at his apartment.
And the date on that.
He stated the footage was from April 21st, showing her parents helping her move out. His point was, I've been single ever since. Trying to establish the relationship ended weeks before her June 1st posts.
Okay, next update we have about something brewing on the high seas. Teasers for the next season of Below Deck.
Yes, season 12, set in St. Martin. We know Captain Kerry Titheridge is back, and so are Fraser Olender as Chief Stew and Kyle Stilley as a deckhand.
And Fraser's been talking. Apparently, there's one incident he called the most explosive thing he's been part of. Involves Kyle.
According to Fraser, Kyle hooked up with a guest.
But wait, there's more to it, right?
Oh, yeah. The guest was reportedly married, and her husband was also on the charter, on the same boat.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's messy.
Extremely.
Yeah.
Fraser himself admitted, he's hooked up with a guest before, off charter maybe, so he can't judge that specific act too harshly.
But this was different.
Totally different. He said what is a hard no is on charter, and especially a hard no when their married significant other is also around. That crosses a major line.
And it sounds like it had big consequences for the whole season.
Huge. Fraser called it the catalyst to so many other problems. He said it really did spiral into something that no one saw coming. So not just an isolated issue.
He had that interesting quote about how it's great TV drama, but awful to live through.
Yeah, it's so good, he said for the viewers, but in the moment, we wanted to crumble.
What did he say about Kyle himself? It sounds like a pretty bad move.
He sort of gave a mixed view. Call Kyle mischievous and so badly behaved, but also feels he's a good guy at his core, maybe trying to soften the blow slightly.
And Captain Kerry, how did he handle it?
Fraser praised him, said Kerry responded in a way in which he needed to, and this was not a joke. It sounds like Kerry came down hard.
What about Kerry's leadership style in general?
Fraser described him as forgiving if your intention is good. If your intention is in the right place, then that man has got you. But clearly, the intention here was questionable.
Did Fraser offer any, explanation for why Kyle might have done it?
He did hint at something interesting. Suggested Kyle was following someone else's leadership, and he was hanging around the wrong people last season.
Sounds like we're in for a wild season overall. Firings, hirings, disasters.
Non-stop, according to Fraser. Dramatic and fun, he promised. But despite all that chaos,
Yeah.
Fraser said his personal goal as Chief Stew was different this time. He wanted to bring the crew together, foster harmony and love and friendship and peace amongst all the madness.
Seems like that goal got seriously tested right out of the gate.
You could say that. We'll see how it plays out starting June 2nd on Bravo, streaming the next day on Peacock.
Okay. Last update we have about some happy news from RHONY.
Yes. Ending on a positive note, Ubah Hassan from the Real Housewives of New York City is engaged.
That's wonderful. She announced it on Instagram Saturday, May 31st.
She did. Posted photos of the proposal, the ring. Looked like a beautiful outdoor setting.
And the fiancé is Oliver Dachsel, the investment banker she called Mr. Connecticut on the show.
That's him. She kept him pretty private on the show, so this is a big reveal too. Her caption was lovely. To love and be loved by someone so kind, deeply good, and quietly breathtaking.
Oh, and the Bravo world lit up with congratulations.
Oh, instantly. Garcelle Beauvais commented about finally being able to celebrate, how it was hard to keep the secret.
Jessel Tank was super excited. We're getting married. And she shared a FaceTime screenshot.
Yeah, showing her reaction right after Ubah told her. Said De Silva said she was crying even though she already knew. Lots of emotion.
Madison LaCroix, Chanel Ian, who called Ubah her cousin, Andy Cohen himself.
Andy said, "This is outstanding." Ariana Maddax sent congrats. Erin Litchie was excited to smush them. Melissa Gorga called them gorgeous. Just a huge outpouring from all corners of Bravo. A really nice piece of news to round things out.